Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the SmackDown Live Recap Show here on the Pro Wrestling Sheet. I'm your host, John Rocha. For some reason, I have all this energy on 4 hours of sleep, and I am joined, as always, by the CEO of the Pro Wrestling Sheet over here, Ryan Satin. How are you, man?
I'm tired, so you'll make up for my lack of energy today. My girlfriend's out of town, so I stayed up late playing video games last night.
What?
Now I'm tired.
What were you playing? Which video games do you play? Fans would love to know what Ryan Satin plays if it's not WWE 2K19.
It was WWE 2K19.
Right.
Now that there's like a second company out there, I hadn't fully made like a proper universe mode where there's two competing companies or whatever. So
you can do that in the 2K19?
Well, they don't are technically competing or whatever, but you can have a whole calendar event. So I finally set it up to where I have Raw and SmackDown. I ended the brand split, so they're just Raw and SmackDown, one brand. WWE, and then
Raw down.
Tuesday night is Tuesday night is AEW's show. Wednesday night is NXT.
Wait, you can do this on the game?
Yeah, and then Friday's SmackDown.
Wow.
And I have a New Japan on the weekends.
What?
So you have like a roster for each one, and you can set up feuds for each one, and all that kind of stuff.
Are you creating characters to be in the New Japan one? Like from scratch?
I used to create them from scratch when I was younger, but ever since there's that community creation section on WWE 2K games, where you can download them from the community. Like if you're one of the creator wrestler makers, you can upload it to the community.
Oh wow!
And dude, those guys are so much better than I ever was. And they're
14 years old.
Totally, and they upload all the there's older ones too. There's some good guys out there.
Just being playful.
I know, yeah. but they'll they'll upload the actual images that are on the gear and their face, and it literally looks like they should have been in like as if they were made for the game or whatever. So so I download all those all the time, but then I do fancy myself a good entrance maker, so then I usually go in and I do all the entrances, make their entrance look cool and give them all their moves. So last night I had to have like Jericho in AEW mode where he's got the whole rocker thing going on.
Oh, nice.
Changed his music so it sounded more dad rockish, more hair metally. Gave him the Judas effect and all that kind of stuff. So I played like 3 matches last night. The rest of the time I was just customizing. And everything, because normally my girlfriend's there, so that would bore her to death. So I usually when she's there, I'll sneak in a few matches, but that takes so long. It takes like hours to do all that kind of stuff.
This is why we got a second television.
Totally.
And a separate room.
Fair.
So like she doesn't have to watch me play video games or do whatever. When I'm detoxing or watch my movies, I put my headphones on so she can do whatever she wants to do in the main living room. I never take the main living room.
Yeah.
I let her have that and I move into the smaller room and do that.
Well, not all of us have our own office, John Rocha, okay? So I
got lucky. but this...
I used to have one. It was great.
I'm going to get the 2K19 because I saw it at Target yesterday for $20.
Yeah, like I was saying,
I'm going to buy it and play with it this weekend. My girlfriend's out of town.
I love it.
I may do the same thing.
I mean, I love it. Jamie, my co-host, was texting me last night about how the new DLC pack came out for Mortal Kombat last night, and I almost played that instead, but
Mortal Kombat 11, right?
I think so. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 11. Okay. But I had to finally work on my universe mode. I had to, I had some weak entrances for Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I had Hangman's entrance was weak. Darby Allin's entrance was weak. Wow. I had a lot of work to do. I had to make their entrance videos. I had a lot of work to do.
Is there a Legends?
It was a busy night for Ryan Satin, so that's why I'm so tired, John Rocha.
Is there a Legends mode where you can bring like Tommy Dreamer in or Raven or Hulk Hogan
can download
or Andre?
Anyone you want. I mean, the community creation section is insane. You literally No. You just, it's part of the game, and you just click over. You click over to community creations and downloads, and you just search any name. There's like a 95% chance they're going to be on there, that somebody has made them, that somebody else besides you has wanted to have them, and you search for like the best one, and you can even...
Are there 10 Randy Macho Mans, and you have to choose like which one you like? Is that how it works?
Yes.
So you have to go, the one you select, you have to go through and see if you like the way it's set up.
You'll search Randy Savage, right? Yeah. And then who's already in the game, but you'll search Randy Savage, and then you'll click like the ordering or whatever, and you just look like most downloaded,
okay.
And it'll go in the order of like which one's been most downloaded in the community creation zone.
This is a bad thing for
and
me.
then you can just pick which one. So like, let's say there's a specific Macho Man you like, I guarantee you there's that version in there, and so that's what a lot of people do, like even for me, like the Jericho one, like Jericho's in the game, but he's got his flashy tights on, he doesn't do the Judas effect, his entrance is still the old music, and so I was like, no, I need metal hair dad rocker Jericho who does the Judas effect now, so I had to do all this work, and so you gotta find the one you like in there. But dude, the people are so good. I mean, there's like 100 Kenny Omegas, but there's really, really good ones.
One last question: do they have the old music for all like WCW and all? No,
depends on who. Like if they're in the game, yes.
Right. If they're in the game, do they have like the old Macho? What up, Mach? Do they have the what up?
No, they have the Pomp and Circumstance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
well, they bought WCW. They should bring all those songs over.
I mean, the music section is something that I wish they would bolster a little bit, but they usually only include like the songs that are in the game, and then I will say they did a good job this year of adding in a bunch of others as well. Okay. So like there are generic tracks that you can use and stuff like that. And also a cool thing that you can do is in the entrance customization thing, you can pick certain parts of a song. Okay. So like when I was doing Adam Page's entrance last night, I wanted the horse thing that Shayna Baszler has, but I didn't want to just have Shayna Baszler's entrance because I use her in the game. I didn't want to be too similar. Right. Even though they're on different shows. One's in AEW, one's in my NXT.
Who is watching you that they would judge you for this?
This is just me. This is just me in my head trying to book the best show possible, John Rocha.
I love it.
And
I love it. I respect it.
So I had to so you can use the intro. Yeah. And then start a different song. So you can use like the intro and then a custom, a generic theme or something like that. And now everyone knows I'm the biggest fucking nerd on the planet.
Can you download songs to use?
No.
Damn it!
But like I said, you can kind of like,
because I would do that in a heartbeat.
Like, you can like mess with a song a little bit to kind of like make it sound more custom, make it sound more unique or whatever. But I
would download a whole ECW from the 90s.
Dude, the whole reason I got into playing these wrestling games is because back in the day on Xbox, you used to be able to upload your music onto the Xbox. So you could put a CD in, it would take it, then you never had to use that CD again. You could listen to your Xbox, and then you could listen to those songs while playing the games. Right. And in wrestling games, you used to be able to use those songs you uploaded to your Xbox to the game, and it was awesome because I would just burn all these CDs with the actual wrestler's theme song and put them in, and it looked like the person was in the game. It was awesome. Miss being able to do that. Bring it back, Xbox. I know you're not allowed to.
All right. Well, he was programming
damn streaming services.
He was programming his universe, and Vince was programming his real life universe on SmackDown last night. Let's get into it. New Day started the show off. Crowd was going crazy. They came down all together. Great to see them all together again. Doing great promos there, talking about Kofi, talking about Ziggler and the steel cage match and all this. And then Biggie mentioned something about slip and slide, playing around like that. And then Ziggler interrupts them, has his promo saying that Kofi doesn't deserve to be champion. Yet again, that same narrative over and over again. Even though he's beaten everybody who said this, he said this over and over again. Then he said, it's going to be a steel cage match. What do you know about a steel cage match? And Kofi counters him by saying, hey, I was in the Elimination Chamber. I don't know if you saw that, but I was in that. And so a good back and forth between both of them. And I like the way Ziggler came off on this. I'm excited for this match.
See, I'm actually not.
What? In a steel cage?
I feel like they've done a couple steel cage matches
with
lately.
Ziggler and Kofi?
Well, not just Ziggler and Kofi. I just mean in general. I feel like they've been kind of using the steel cage stipulation quite often. Okay. They've been getting real stipulation crazy lately, which I don't mind. I like stipulations, but
they're trying to add the frills.
Didn't they just have a cage match though? It was
not a Superstar show.
But Miz and Shane had a cage match, right?
Oh, they did. Kind of recently. Yeah.
I don't know. I just really think we haven't been going back to the cage match thing, but I don't know if the cage match to me ever really adds anything too major unless someone's gonna jump off of it, which they, I don't see either of these guys doing that. I also feel like, I liked the Ziggler thing, but it's kind of been very one-noted. It hasn't really progressed. Okay. You and I were talking before the show, and we were saying how for once, and this doesn't happen very often, but it kind of feels like Raw overshadowed SmackDown.
I think this week definitely, and the first time in a long time, Raw was better than SmackDown.
This let's see if this is anything interesting. I just got an email, an AEW announcement. What's it say?
Breaking news. Breaking news. Ryan has a new character to put into his game. Breaking news right now.
Wait, who don't care? Okay, that's not. Okay. We're good. I had to check in case it was anything major. It was not. But what I was going to say is with the Dolph thing, it's been very one-noted. I would like to see some kind of change to it. He's literally just saying the same thing now over and over again. And I don't know, like when someone's just saying the same thing and they keep losing and they're not really backing it up, to me, it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really ring true. And although the match
with Xavier
was good. It was
a good match.
Very good match. I thought they killed it. I thought it was a very good match.
Xavier finally got to show, like, this is what he can do in the ring, and he doesn't get a lot of opportunities to do it. It was great to see him do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I actually think the past few matches he's been in has really shown some fire. I think being around Kofi and seeing his single successes reminded Xavier Woods that, like, he's there for a reason too. And yes, he's successful in everything he's doing, but I think he wants to remind everyone that, like, he can go in the ring if given the opportunity, if need be. Just like everyone else, almost everyone else on the roster. Yeah. You know, you see that with guys going back to NXT and just, when given the opportunity to put on a dope match, they do it. Yeah. But this Ziggler thing, I just didn't feel, I don't know, it just didn't connect with me here because it's been so similar to what he's been doing that it just wasn't like, I don't know, it just kind of felt very copy and paste to me. And I feel like it's just as if, it's just the Super Showdown match again, but they're going to have a steel cage around it. It's not that their match was bad or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, this promo specifically didn't get me like super hyped or anything like that.
Okay, I liked the promo.
But I did like their match.
The match was great, and that super kick from Kofi, I don't know how Xavier took that, because he didn't actually land on the mat or on the mat. Yeah, the mat to give him some kind of brace before he hit the outer mat. So
when it was on the apron?
Yeah, on the apron. Like he didn't hit the apron before he hit the outer mat, and I was just like, oh man, he really took that kick. So I don't know how those guys can take that kind of.
I was scared he was going to hit his head like Kota Ibushi did on the apron recently, and I was like, oh no, everyone's been so mad about that match when he hit his head. Yeah. So I was like, oh don't let that happen. So I'm almost glad that he didn't hit the apron first, because it probably would have been his head if he had hit the apron first. But yeah. Intense bump. I actually like the super kick in the ropes too.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. That was, it just goes to show the level to which Ziggler is going to go to win this belt, and I like that. So I think we're going to get a knockdown, drag out match that could steal the show. To be honest with you,
I will say I do think that too. I'm going to sound like some old veteran here, and I am not. But the super kick has started to become a little overused.
Wow.
Like, not just Ziggler. At least he uses it as a finisher for the most part.
He does.
But man, I saw like 100 super kicks while watching SmackDown last night. Everyone has it in their arsenal.
KO uses it.
Seth Rollins uses it.
Right.
There's a lot of people that use the super. It was a lot of super kicks last night. Because there's no brand split anymore, they got all the like super kicky guys all kind of switching around. It's not that it's bad. It's just there was a lot of super kicks last night.
Super kick live.
Yeah, totally. The match, I actually, the match was great. These two can go.
Yeah, they can go.
They can go. And I was happy to see Ziggler get a pretty clean, clean win.
Straight up win. Without taking any tarnish off Xavier either, because Xavier fought a hell of a match.
I just really think that Ziggler needs to change his music.
What if Xavier's the one that turns? Interesting.
Xavier and Kofi are much more likely to turn than Big E to me.
I can see Xavier turning.
To me, the real money is in Kofi turning on them. But to me, that's the real money. Like, everyone goes, Big E turns. No, Big E's so money as a face. Like, there's no need for it. To me, Kofi Kingston could pull it off, but the problem is he's now become kind of like an inspirational person, so you can't really do it anymore. So I do think that if anyone is going to turn Xavier Woods, but I don't think they need to do that.
They don't.
They really could, in my opinion, one day be split up in a brand split if they really want to split them up for singles reasons. Split them up in the brand split, and they could both still be New Day apart. I don't think anyone needs to like turn on the other or anything like that. But I do think that Dolph Ziggler needs new music, man. Like, that music just...
Wait, you like Sami Zayn's music over and over again, but you don't like Ziggler's? Is still the same?
It's just because that music reminds everyone of, like, 2000 whatever, like 2007 or whatever it was that he cashed in. Just so long ago now. I just think that he needs to feel... It needs to feel more genuine to him.
Well, maybe they're not going on a long push for him.
That's the only thing I want.
Right. So they're not going to change the music if it doesn't make any sense.
It's a good counterpoint there.
Maybe. All right, we move on. They did, Rollins. They had a package showing Rollins did at Raw last night or 2 nights ago. And that was just showing him beating everybody up who decided to be a guest referee or could be a guest referee. And then we move on to Alexa Bliss doing her moment of bliss. Here, Nikki comes out fully as her, second, as in essence. She cries about her coffee, which is this, they keep pushing this angle. And then Bayley comes out with her coffee. And Bayley was great. This back and forth is something that I have desperately wanted to see on the women's side from someone other than Becky and Charlotte. So to see Alexa and Bayley come dangerously close to talking personal shit to each other, I thought was great. Calling her entitled princess, saying that she has the career Bayley wished she had, saying that she's better than her, and then Bayley getting all upset, and then eventually just clocking her, and then Nikki rips her off Alexa, and then Alexa gets that cheap shot on Bayley, and then they walk out. This whole segment was my favorite moment of bliss ever.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
It's weird. I will say the first, I guess 2 minutes or a minute and a half or whatever it was of it was the biggest eye roll at first. I was just the coffee stuff. I was just like, God, I literally texted someone I know, a friend of mine who I talk about wrestling with and stuff. And I just texted him. I just said, this coffee stuff is so stupid.
I know you hate it so
I hate
much.
it. And I was like, this is just so dumb. This is just the dumbest thing. And they wrote back, I know, it's so dumb. And then when Bayley came out, I just was like, oh God, where is this going? This is gonna be so stupid. And I was just so annoyed by it. And then everything changed.
It was great.
Great. I was like, by the end of it, I was like, oh yeah, that's what's up. You know what it is, and it really is I have to shift my mindset. Mm-hmm. And I really, for so long, it's been in my mind of this is the TV show.
Yeah.
These are the main eventers. These are the upper mid-carders. These are the mid-carders. Yeah. These are the lower card guys. These are the jobber guys. It was always like that, and it was positioned in certain ways, and this is who they care. But it's interesting to me, it's lately, and not even lately, the past couple of years now, and we've talked about this a few times of just it's very much this new thing they're doing where it's no, these people are all just going to be themselves with the volumes turned up.
Right.
And for the most part. And you get to cheer whoever you want. And it's weird. It does bring out this certain thing, and it's well, no, this person resonates to me, so I'm going to cheer for that person. Well, this person resonates for me. I'm going to cheer for that person.
Yeah.
And I finally become comfortable with it, I think. And I'm starting to, and it has helped me enjoy the show even more because you stop thinking of the old way of thinking and start thinking of this way of thinking. And while watching this, I go and I know that kind of goes against the whole Seth Rollins thing I was ranting about yesterday with Eric Young or whatever, but still, that was different in my opinion because he's supposed to be number one good guy in the company, well, at least number one face of the company. Regardless, I think that this segment was great. I think this segment, to me, wrestling is best when it blends reality and fiction.
Yes.
And social media is such a big part of everyone's lives, whether we love it or not. It's an everyday thing that we all, for the most part, 90% of the world, maybe, I shouldn't say the world, but, a large portion of the world is on social media all day long. And so to bring those kind of things in there and to talk about the history of them in NXT and
peaked in NXT,
Woo! Having the career you wish I had, I had the career you wish you had, and all that kind of stuff. Great. It was like when chef kiss stuff. You could not like that. I thought it was great.
Yeah, and so for the first time, and the Forever 21 joke, holy shit. But this is the first time that I have agreed with you about the indirect result of taking the tag team belts off of Bayley and Sasha. This is the first time where I was like, okay, she does not need Sasha to come back if they're going to do this with her. And I would like Bayley to go on extended run with the title for a year. I would love for them to build up Bayley back up again as a more vicious face, but someone who's not going to get pushed around, someone who doesn't always do the hugging thing. Like, and Alexa called her out and then said, you're not always, in the back, people know the truth about you. You're not this huggy, but you're actually a liar and you're stabbing it back. So that is great. And it puts more edge to her, even more so. And Alexa did a great job of selling that, even though maybe some of what they were both saying might be hedging closer to the truth. It's nice to see that in there and see that color in Bayley, to see her play with it and give it as good as she gets it and then lose it a little bit and go off on Alexa. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
so,
to see Bayley in a work shoot type thing is interesting.
With the jeans.
Yeah.
The jeans were really essential. Clothes are essential in conveying a certain thing. Her wearing the jeans means that she got a little more viciousness to her than those colored tights.
All right,
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. And I completely agree with everything you were saying right there. I think that this was a very helpful thing. And although I do believe that she's losing the title this weekend.
Okay, all right. We'll
Not like any inside info. That's just my guess.
Okay. Zelina Vega, we go back to Zelina Vega in the backstage. Kevin had a conversation with Apollo Crews, distracts him, and Andrade hits him from behind. So maybe we're getting a little tease here that Apollo Crews and Andrade will have some program going forward, which will be nice.
It does seem that way, but I'm much more intrigued with this whole Chad Gable thing going on.
Oh, yeah, true.
I don't know if you watched 205 Live this week. We didn't talk about it last week because I hadn't watched it yet, but God, 205 Live last week. The Gable versus Jack Gallagher match was awesome. And you just watch it and you go like, how is that guy not a major player in WWE
Gable,
right now? Gable.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy is shredded. And yeah, okay, I get it. I know what the answer is because a lot of you are going to say it in the comments. I get it. He's small. He's smaller. But dude.
So is Daniel Bryan.
Exactly. So are a lot of the guys in the roster.
Yeah, it's not about small.
This guy, oh my God, like he was just like, it literally like you were watching like young Kurt Angle wrestle, and it was just so good, so entertaining, and a believable. Like it's not that he doesn't look like he shouldn't be there. The dude is like, cut beyond belief. He, has the new hairdo or
I like
short
the new
hair. I really, really, really think that he could be a valuable asset to the show. So whatever they're doing with him, kind of like following Apollo Crews around and taking the notes on him, I hope that it's more than just a tag team because we've seen him. We've seen Chad Gable in so many makeshift tag teams.
Yeah.
And you and I yesterday, we spoke of the increasing amount of factions that are growing in WWE again. I would love to see some sort of faction of like good wrestlers or whatever.
A face faction.
Some sort of face faction with Gable and Apollo Crews and maybe one or two other guys as like guys who are great wrestlers. I think it could be cool.
A Young Guns type of thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Like Nexus was going
I was thinking more like a varsity club type of thing.
Okay, sure.
Is that too old school? Did you not like the varsity club?
I did not like the varsity club.
Well, okay, so maybe like more heels then. I'm
I'll take
more
the
so
Spirit
thinking
Squad
heels
over the varsity club.
Really?
I really would. I
love the Spirit Squad.
I love.
Did you hate the Spirit Squad?
I like the Spirit Squad.
Yeah, me
as
too.
heels.
I love the Spirit Squad.
Yeah. I'll take them over the varsity club. Varsity club is like. Ugh.
I was so bad. They're one of those who they go, why did everyone act like they didn't like the Spirit Squad? It's similar to like Limp Bizkit, where you go like, they were good.
Yeah.
And you go, the Spirit Squad were good.
Don't drag me into the Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I know.
Don't you drag me into
He
Limp
just
Bizkit.
accidentally agreed to me about liking Limp Bizkit, and I didn't want. I was just gonna let it slide.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I like 2 or 3 songs from them, but I also think Durst was a bit of a douche during that whole time.
Well,
so.
Fred Durst is a friend of Pro Wrestling Sheet.
Okay.
He's been on the show before,
Well,
and I love the guy.
Maybe we can have a back and forth, Durst and I, about it.
And I saw him live recently. I saw Limp Bizkit live 2 weekends ago. One of the best live shows I've seen in a while. So
I think he'd say in the 90s he got a little full of himself.
Maybe, probably.
And I think that's okay to say like,
He's not watching this
I got
one, don't
over
worry.
it.
Jamie's
I got
on the show.
over
He's only watching it. Jamie's on. But
fair enough, man.
and even then he's probably not watching. But shout out to Fred Durst regardless.
Yeah. Their Mission Impossible 2 song was great.
They played it.
I love that song.
They played it.
That song's on my workout mix. It's a fucking great song.
Jamie said during the concert.
Yeah.
He actually on the way to the concert, we were listening to some Limp Bizkit songs. He claimed that was top 3. He said number 1. He said it was the best soundtrack song of all time.
What?
That's a bold claim, right?
Wow. That's incredible.
And then we tried to discuss.
Yeah.
And maybe this needs to be one of your top 10 shows or something.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
But like
top 10 soundtrack songs.
It was a tough one because his argument.
Yeah.
And we'll move on because I know this is a Mission Impossible Limp Bizkit talk.
It really is.
But his argument was that it worked in the actual theme song of Mission Impossible, but made it bang. And for that, it should get lots of extra points.
Okay, but the U2 did that as well.
For what?
With one of theirs, they had a song on one of the Mission Impossible soundtracks, and they mixed in the Mission Impossible song.
U2's pretty whack, though.
Are you gonna compare Limp Bizkit to U2 and tell me they come out whack?
Limp Bizkit is way cooler than U2.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, we gotta move on. I'm about to explode. All right, Heavy Machinery.
There's no question.
There isn't. U2, so much better.
Those assholes put songs on my iPhone that are still on there for some reason. I can't get them off.
Well, later U2 I can understand. But early U2 was badass.
No one's ever said badass and U2 in the same sentence.
Oh my God. You were 2 years old. All right, let's move on. Heavy Machinery. Speaking of badasses, Heavy Machinery took on the B Team. Remember the B Team? They took care of B Team with with Rowan and Daniel Bryan at ringside. So this is coming. This Heavy Machinery tag team title shot. So this is going to be fun to see them, and I can't wait. There's going to be some great back and forth, great promos with them. So we'll see. But B Team, we hardly knew you. Sadly, you're gone.
Why two appearances tonight, last night.
Why couldn't they have been the wild card over at Raw to fight the Viking Raiders? I would have accepted that.
A little better.
Yeah, I would have accepted that over that squash match.
Weird to use them as a wild card, though.
But that's what makes it unique.
True.
You never know who it's going to be.
True.
It can't just always be the top headline.
True. I liked seeing the B Team twice.
Yes.
But you knew once they were in that line that, because they're going to be a match later, going to get beat up by Seth Rollins. He's the wild card. I was confused, though, because they had Matt Hardy coming out of the office and they never followed up on that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what that's kind of leading to. What were you going to say?
No, go ahead. I want you to finish your point.
Well, I was just saying, I was going to go back to the B Team and just, not a bad match.
No, not at all. Those guys can wrestle. It's just a matter of being over and where they're at status-wise in the company. They're just not there to, win matches at this point. So they're there to put other people over right now.
The thing I hated most about this match, if I need to pick apart a negative, because it's not that much. It was pretty cut and paste. I'm excited about Heavy Machinery and Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan coming up. But the thing I hated most about this was the Bushwhackers walk.
Oh, yeah.
I know they've talked about, they love the Bushwhackers, and I think they've done it in the ring once or twice. But doing it when they came to the ring, even Tucker looked like he knew while he was doing it how silly it looked.
Yeah, they probably talked about it, thought it was going to be cool.
That was a Vince thing. Vince was like,
"You think so?
Oh, come on, of course."
Really? Okay.
To me, it looks like he sees them as a modern day Bushwhackers because of Otis. Because Otis talks, has that kind of voice, but he's goofy and silly, and he looks at them as like a modern day Bushwhackers. Although I did love when they were doing that. Yeah. And then Daniel Bryan called out the Sheep Herders, which was their name when they weren't in WWE, and said to go research it on the WWE network. He was in full, smarky
he was feeling
mode the whole time on commentary last night, and I loved it.
Yep.
It was great. It reminded me of like if you watched SmackDown, but you didn't watch the regular commentary. You watched like two really smarky dudes on YouTube doing their own commentary the whole time. Like, he doesn't know this move, and that doesn't even hurt the other person. Why would you bounce back? He was like calling out all the like dumb things they were doing, and it was pretty funny to me. But the Bushwhackers thing, I hated it. I feel like, I get it. I see the similarity of like goofy, weird talking, like I was saying with Otis, but they're their own thing.
Yeah.
You don't need everything to have to be the same as something as before. A lot of time you hear someone say, I'm not the next so-and-so. Right. I'm the first me.
Right.
And I when you try to position someone too much as the next this, it sets expectation that they're probably not going to live up to. And two, it seems just uncreative. It's like this person already has a character that we're into.
And why are you making a reference to someone from the 80s? Like, I can do it on a recap show with you.
It's kind of like saying U2 rocks or something. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but you're right.
On a recap show, we can do that. We can talk about history wrestling. But you don't want to make, it's just, I think, and of course the Bushwhackers, which didn't win titles or anything like that.
But it literally is like, there's your ceiling. There you go.
Yeah, that's terrible. I agree. That's terrible. Let them be themselves. They're doing just fine as themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think, and he was already doing the worm.
Yeah, it's already got. It's already
he was already kind of towing that line of like, okay, they're also kind of like too cool, but they're also like the Bushwhackers. Like,
right.
How about they're just Heavy Machinery, which is entertaining as hell.
Who did Matt Hardy tweet about that he finally fought over the weekend that he'd never fought?
Ali, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Ali. Yes, he said they tore down the house. So
Yeah.
I wish there was video of that match somewhere. I'd like to see it. All right, Shane tells KO and Zayn out in the parking lot to take on Kofi and Rollins, do something about it when they're complaining to Shane about it. And so we're going to see that match later on in the night. Shane comes out, does the whole doesn't have Mike Roman introduce him, which he's like, everybody knows who the hell I am finally. McIntyre, of course, they do their promo about Reigns, standard promo stuff. Then Miz comes out to interrupt them. Just when you thought the feud was over, Ryan Satin, it is not. Miz says, I created you, Shane McMahon, in this heel. I pulled you out of retirement. I take responsibility for you now, and now I will end your run as this heel person. And then plays slow motion footage of him getting his butt kicked by Reigns, which I thought was brilliant. And then an impromptu tag team match is scheduled by Shane, and R-Truth happens to be walking by.
Yeah, that was the best part. It's when he was like, you have 10 seconds to find a tag partner, and Truth just appears from out of nowhere. I loved it. That cracked me up. Great. They're going back to Shane.
We're not done. We're not done. It's going to be a hell in a cell.
I will say, though, I think that Shane is... Sorry, excuse me. I will say that I think that Miz is becoming a little bit stronger of a face.
Finally.
It's starting to click a little bit more. I think they're doing the right things finally. Not coincidentally, when he finally got away from Shane for a few weeks, but now that he's back and he's still kind of in that fold again, at least the promo made sense.
It did.
Like, I will say, I wasn't stoked about this continuing again, going back to this, but at the same time, I was thinking, well, Roman needs someone to help him in all of this, and Miz is obviously the most logical choice, and B, I did like his promo where he was like, I started this, I had to end this. It does make sense. And also, I feel like this segment, for the most, for a little bit, did kind of, we talked about Shane is best used getting other people over, and he was kind of like Drew McIntyre until Miz came out. So I like that too.
Right, and we end up seeing this, and because he also says, like, oh, your friends get all these opportunities, blah, blah. Well, we end up seeing this tag team match happen. And this was actually an interesting match overall. I thought R-Truth really brought it again. I'm just almost marvel at his ability. It does not show his age at all. That jump split, sweet Mary Mother of God, maybe 98% of the people his age would break something seriously trying to do that. It's so incredible that he's that athletic to still be able to do something like this. Really showed off well, and then he got pinned and eliminated. It was left to Miz versus Elias and McIntyre. They took care of him and destroyed him, but there was also the 24/7 situation, which popped up. They took the title from R-Truth, but you have to pin R-Truth to get the title. R-Truth snags it from the referee, runs away, and then he leaves Shane there, or Miz there, to get his butt kicked. What did this solve in the end to see Miz lose again to Elias and McIntyre? I don't know.
Don't know if it solved much. I think you're right, except to establish the pure dominance of Team Shane, I guess.
Yeah, because then they keep going and destroy Miz again with Shane throwing him into McIntyre. So.
But you are right about R-Truth. I posted a picture this morning of R-Truth and Miz when they were Awesome Truth in 2011.
Right.
And now, and honestly, both of them, they look like exactly the same. Miz actually kind of looks younger somehow. It's crazy. Those guys are in such good shape. Those two guys, it's impressive to see how little they've aged. Almost 10 years,
It's like when Hogan came back with the NWO. He was like thinner, tighter, and maybe he's on HGH or whatever. I don't want to allegedly. But like he looked younger and he looked more in shape than he did when he was in his youth, winning or holding the belt for so long with the that current WWF at the time. In the WCW, I was like surprised. But I think sometimes this happens with athletes' bodies. As they get older, they understand they have to eat differently, and new programs come in, and they get tighter, and that takes the age, or that slows the aging process down. And maybe that's what's going on with Miz and R-Truth. R-Truth looks great for God's
maybe
sakes.
They've just found the fountain of youth.
Yeah, drinking baby's bloods or something.
Drinking baby blood. They're all just cheersing with Vince backstage.
Never dying, boys.
The 24/7 stuff was funny too, though.
Yes.
I liked it. Do we have?
Yeah, Lisa Drake Maverick out there dressed as Carmella.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring. I didn't know if we're getting to that. I wasn't sure.
Well, it leads to Drake, because I was going to ask you what this is leading to with the Miz situation. We'll see. But yeah, it leads out to R-Truth being out in the parking lot, and then he sees Carmella, or what he thinks is Carmella, Drake Maverick in disguise, and which has been the theme of the week with the 24/7 title, people in disguise. And he ends up pinning him. Cheating! He uses the car, he puts his feet on the car, and he cheats.
There's no cheating in the 24/7 rule.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's 24/7 championship. Everything goes.
No DQ, no cheating. Like you can't.
No,
The referee
I don't think so.
Couldn't the referee stop the count going? You got your legs on the car.
It's not a rope.
I suppose, yeah. Well, okay, I guess. But he used it for leverage to pin him. Then he takes off of the car with the title, which I thought was hilarious. The ref running after the car for a little bit, going, "What's going on?" And R-Truth now does not have the title. Drake Maverick tweeted about it, having the belt on his shoulder. Thought that was really funny.
He also, Aleister Black tweeted a picture of him where he's sitting in the airport. Waiting at the gate where he's wearing the title belt too, just sitting there hanging out, which is hilarious. And you know what? The 24/7 title is obviously a joke. However, props to Drake Maverick, dude. Because you know what? A lot of the people who win the title, are less along the lines of people who were. There are people who were more likely to sign with WWE.
Yes.
There are people who are more likely to win and wrestle in WWE. Drake Maverick's a small dude. I talked about Chad Gable, but he's smaller than Chad Gable. And not, in the same kind of like peak physical condition. Didn't have like an Olympic wrestling background like Chad Gable. Someone who for a long time people probably thought that guy would never make it in WWE. Like, why is that guy wrestling? And so I think that, it's cool to see that he, that he paid his dues for so long.
Yeah.
So long on the indies, in TNA, Impact, whatever, with 205 Live as as the general manager, and now this, it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's just, we joke and whatever, but I mean that's actually this guy's getting to live his dream. That's cool.
Yeah, and the thing is with the 24/7 title, what makes it interesting is that characters like that can really show their comedic side and have fun within the construct of the 24/7 chase. It makes so much sense.
Crash Holly is one of the people who made the hardcore title fun.
Absolutely.
If Drake Maverick could be this generation's Crash Holly and use that to springboard onto actually wrestling on the main roster, I think that would be really cool for him.
Of course, I agree. And I don't know if there's other people in that ring of people chasing around who are as fun, who could be as funny with it as Drake, because the size thing plays into it. His hair flipping around plays into it. He's got a funny voice. He's got a funny voice. The underdog status of him. All of it works. So I like.
He's one of those people who knows how to market themselves on the internet. I remember when for a long time he was doing this thing on Twitter where he had lost his memory.
Yeah.
And he was acting like this was his first year in wrestling and he was a rookie and he was like setting up the ring ropes again. He was doing this whole gimmick, but it only lived on social media.
Right.
And it was him dressing like he used to dress in his first year of wrestling, and it was a joke, but it was. To me, it was a thing that he did that helped himself get noticed by people who were maybe like, "Who is this guy? What is this?" And he was getting seen by people who wouldn't maybe have seen him before, just because they're on social media every day like everyone else is. And so I think that he is someone who is advantageous enough to think of those types of things to do with the 24/7 title. And my guess is the reason that they gave him the 24/7 championship is because his wedding is this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yes,
That's great.
but. The reason I say that.
Do you think they're gonna crash the wedding?
You know they're filming so much content at Drake's wedding, and his wife's probably so mad about it. Like, really? This is what we're doing at our wedding? But she's also a wrestler, so she's probably getting pumped.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's probably excited about it. But my guess
she might pin him.
Yeah, because if EC3 and Braun Strowman are both groomsmen.
Are they really?
Yeah. My guess is there's going to be truth popping out of a cake.
Yes.
He's going to pin him during the bachelor party, but then Drake's going to be spending his whole wedding day trying to get it back. To me, they've got at least 4 YouTube videos they can make out of this where they could bang it out real fast and have funny YouTube content throughout the weekend, similar to when they were flying to Saudi Arabia and they filmed the different things on the plane.
That was genius, by the way.
Totally. And I think that my guess is that's why they gave it to him, because this is all this does is set it up for solid social media content from Drake Maverick's wedding.
I wonder if Ginger crashes the wedding too.
I bet you, honestly, if they were smart,
oh my God,
they wouldn't even do it at his real wedding. Well, no, because they're all gonna be at his wedding.
What if he turns?
They're all gonna be guests at his wedding anyways. They might as well just film, and they're probably all pissed off. Shit, we're working at the wedding, which would be like off having fun.
Yeah,
but they could film so much fun content there. And my guess is we're gonna see that.
I'd love to see the minister turn around and it's Ginger.
Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me.
That would be awesome. But maybe she gets the pin at the end and takes the 24/7 title. Maybe the wife? Yeah, maybe the wife gets the pin at the end there. We'll see. All right. Now let's move on to the final match of the night. Kofi and Seth Rollins taking on KO and Zayn. Best 2 out of 3 falls match. Really funny. First fall goes to a finisher right off the bat. That was great. So unexpected. Boom, the pin on Zayn. And Zayn's still recovering from this whole thing. KO, they go at it back and forth. Good match all around. And then Kofi and Rollins get the pin on KO, I think. And that's that. But good showcase of their talents. Both standing there with their respective titles at the end of the send-off show here for Stomping Grounds.
Here's the thing. I didn't understand what the point of the 2 out of 3 falls stipulation was here.
Yeah.
Since they didn't do the classic trope of like 1 fall each and then someone has to get the final fall. It was just Kevin and Sami losing.
It was.
Twice in the same match, which I don't know how that really helps them. Although it was a great match. Very entertaining. Both of them killed it. I just felt like, I don't know, when I was watching it, I was just thinking like, well, what was the point of this 2 out of 3 falls thing? And my guess is it has something to do with these commercial breaks thing. Like, remember yesterday when I was saying that during Raw, there were these like random breaks in the matches, which wasn't like a thing that I'd ever seen before. I noticed during SmackDown last night, because I was looking, because it's hard because I'm not there, but I was like looking during the broadcast to see that anything I could notice where they were doing that again. And during the main event, when they came back from commercial, I feel like they went to commercial kind of quickly after that first fall.
Yeah, they did.
And then they came back, and right when they came back, the referee did that, and they started wrestling, which means the live audience, they weren't wrestling in front of them. That means they took one of those breaks again. And I'm wondering if these like multiple fall stipulations are to make it so that they can
do the commercial breaks?
This weird break during matches thing during the live show, so that there's a reason for the people to stand on the sides, I guess?
Yeah, I guess, it's a big company. They're going to take chances or try things and see if they work. We do the same thing at Collider. We take chances or try things to try to kind of see if we can get a better result. Maybe they have seen these rash of injuries and they think, well, look, let's try this. Maybe this will help give the wrestlers a little more rest in these situations. And then boom, because every sport has timeouts where people don't do what they're doing. And I get it. You're not in like basketball, you get time to sit on the bench and what have you, but you're playing way more minutes than you're wrestling. I get that. But still, you get commercial breaks all the time. And so maybe they're trying to do that. And maybe they're trying to match that for Fox. Maybe they're prepping for Fox show where they will have these breaks and they don't want to waste it being wrestled during a commercial break.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying they might be trying it. Yeah.
Agreed. I think they are. But to me, this is not to me. Question. What do you think kills the momentum more? A long headlock during the commercial break or a full-on break where the guys just stand across the ring staring at each other?
It depends on what you do with that break. If you're doing that break and you're promoing, or you're doing that break and you're talking with the fans or messing with the fans, then you keep the fans still interactive with it. Then when the thing comes back, you go roll right back into it and do the wrestling. So the TV audience hasn't missed a beat. But that's what you got to do. If you're just standing around waiting, then the fans can start to kind of go down in terms of enthusiasm, and then you have to ramp it all the way back up. So yes, there's a danger there. I just hope that did they mess with the fans, talk to the fans when you were at Raw?
In one of them, yes. Okay. During one of them, Baron Corbin Samoa Joe got on the mic and was like, talking about how Ricochet couldn't beat him and talking about how Miz couldn't beat him and like was talking some smack. And then he stopped and they got on the microphone and they were like, these competitors have been given a 2-minute break, which was, that was when I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So that's why I was looking forward during SmackDown, at least to see if there's anything I could see while watching the show. I don't know. I'm looking into, but I also think that it's something they're just messing with to see if prior to Fox.
Yeah,
definitely.
A few people have said on Twitter already and responded to our yesterday's show and said there have been no breaks when I was there to live show. So this must be something new they're trying out, maybe with Fox. All right, well, that's the SmackDown Live recap show. Let's do a quick run through the matches for Stomping Ground, see what you think. Start off with Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans for the Raw Women's Championship. Thoughts there?
Becky Lynch wins. I've now thought about this a lot since our Raw recap.
Okay.
Becky Lynch wins. Baron Corbin offers the spot. Guest referee spot
to Lacey.
Lacey is the referee later,
okay,
and then we'll get to that.
All right. Kofi Kingston versus Ziggler.
Kofi Kingston for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. There's no chance of Dolph Ziggler winning the title right now.
Not this way.
No way. At Stomping Grounds. Kicking ass and taking names. WWE shoe.
I got a boot. All right. It's the United States Championship. Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. This could be interesting.
I think this match might steal the show.
Okay.
But I still think Samoa Joe's going to win.
A couple of our fans who watched the show yesterday thought I was crazy, thinking that I wasn't too excited for this match. So I might be proved wrong. So there we go. We'll see.
Well, I just know that Samoa Joe and Ricochet both always deliver when given the opportunity. And so that's why I say that. I don't know if I feel I don't think that there was a lot of build up to this or proper build up to this.
Wasn't.
However, both of these guys always deliver. And so that's why I say I think this match could steal the show, because they both have to make up for their lack of build prior.
Do you think Samoa Joe?
Yeah,
I think
Joe.
Ricochet.
With
Samoa Joe chasing the title back during that time before Ray shows up.
That's only like a week or so, or like 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
It could be something.
Okay.
We have pay-per-views every month now, so
True.
Certainly possible. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley taking on Alexa Bliss. I'm looking forward to this one.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Right. I got Bayley in this one. I do.
Alexa Bliss with Nikki holding like Bayley's foot down or something.
Okay. Nikki seemed conflicted at that end.
That's why.
So I think she's going to maybe help Bayley. I think she's going to help Bayley.
It makes much more sense for her to help Alexa, and you build up that friendship for a while before she finally snaps and realizes that Alexa's been using her, and then you can build to that.
Wow.
And I do think that, Billy and Peyton need someone to wrestle with. We've talked about the lack of teams.
True.
It seems to me like Bayley's going to recruit someone.
Yeah. All right, we'll see.
As much as I feel like Bayley's run with the title has been great.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's from watching it.
Yeah.
This is what it feels like.
Okay. Universal Championship, Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin.
Well, okay, so now we're at the end. Okay, so I think that.
Or do you want to save that one?
Is that what else?
Let's save that one. SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Daniel Bryan and Rowan versus Heavy Machinery.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think they win it just yet, but I think they will win it, not just yet.
I think it's going to be a good match, though. I think this is going to be a surprisingly good match.
Hands down.
Because I think this is going to be the biggest opportunity that Heavy Machinery has been given.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how they deliver on it. I think they can, but they haven't really had the opportunity to really. They haven't really been put on that kind of a platform.
Right. I'm encouraging my girlfriend to stay with her friends as long as possible on Sunday, so I can watch this show completely free and clear. All right, you have a Cruiserweight Championship, Tony Nese versus Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. Versus Drew Gulak as well. Drew Gulak, sorry. Triple threat match here.
I've been watching 2 Hour Live the past couple weeks. I watched it last night. I watched it last week. They've been really churning out some good stuff. If they continue down this path, they'll have me back on watching weekly, because really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Because sometimes 2 Hour Live I have to catch up, because it's like I get behind. I watch as much as I can or whatever. But man, the past 2 weeks have been really good. And as much as I liked Drew Gulak's character in the earlier days of 205 Live, when he was doing the stuff for a better 205 Live and holding the sign and get off the top rope, this new, I guess not new, but this more serious side of Drew Gulak that they're showcasing right now, where even in his promo last night, he said it's not for a better 205 Live, it's for a better me or something like that. And it was like this dark room, pure black, and it was just like him kind of like this real serious thing. And I was like, man, that is absolute money. Like, that is twisted heel. I love it. Into that. So I kind of hope that it's Drew Gulak who wins it.
Okay, Gulak. I'm kind of leaning towards Gulak as well. Xavier Woods and Big E versus Kevin Owens, the same as Zayn.
Big E and Xavier Woods versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I'm going to go with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It has a feeling that could make sense, especially because I think Kofi's going to retain, so it makes sense to have New Day lose here.
I also think that Sami and Kevin Owens have taken the fall a lot.
Yeah.
They've taken the fall a lot. They need it more than New Day does at this point. And New Day's, Xavier Woods and Big E haven't been as active in the ring.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess they haven't recently, but Big E was hurt. You can play into that, and I think that Sami and Kevin need the win much more. So I hope that they win it.
Yep, agreed. All right, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Roman Reigns.
Okay, like who cares? Right?
Well, because he lost to Shane, so
right,
he's got to win this one. It'd be.
I'm not looking forward to the match.
Okay, fair.
I'm not. I mean, I this may be the one where I check my phone the whole time.
And I hate that because I actually like both guys. But
true. Me too. I just don't like their matchups.
Me neither. It's been a disservice to them. And I get it. It's classic, like a WWE big man fight. But I don't know. I just feel like they both would be served better against other people.
I liken this to the NBA where, all right, yeah, you could have a center that stands in the post the whole time like the old days, but I like that center that flares out and shoots the three. I like that more now. I've moved on with the game. Like I want wrestling to move on too.
I also feel like Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, the reason it's not fully clicking is because both of them would be used better as the focus of their own storyline.
Yeah.
I think that Drew McIntyre in his own storyline against a face who needs the help, I guess, where the sympathy that will be garnered of him attacking him all the time and beating him down until he finally fights back will be entertaining to watch. But because Roman Reigns is such a powerhouse, seeing him and Drew McIntyre collide right now, it's not fun because they're both too much of powerhouses and it's not the same,
I agree.
Right? Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
I thoroughly agree with you, man. And I also think their promos, they basically deliver the same style of promo. So there's no difference.
Yeah, I think
no
that
one's
is kind of a
funnier than the other one. No one's like taking the lead. They both deliver the same promos.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it
doesn't excite you.
And it's definitely both like are safe.
Yes.
In what they do because they know what Vince wants. Yeah. But you're 100% right that neither of them are doing anything to stand out from the other. Yeah, which is unfortunate because there's possibilities there. All right, let's get to the circle back to the Universal Championship here with Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin, which you think Lacey Evans is a special referee. I think Lesnar. So, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think it plays out then?
I think Corbin wins.
Interesting.
With Lesnar helping him win. Or Rollins is like overcomes all the odds, but is so exhausted by the end. But I can't imagine the title changing here at Stomping Grounds. Like
that's how I look at it
with
too.
Lesnar. But I think Lesnar will do it to mess with Rollins more. Maybe Rollins wins, but then Lesnar delivers the chair punishment to him that Rollins delivered to him at Super Showdown. So maybe there's a possibility there. And not Superstar Showdown. Get off my ass.
I've been trying to figure out, maybe this doesn't end the show and you just do like,
oh God, really?
Lacey is cheating the whole time for Baron. Seth can't do anything because she's a girl.
That's a great possibility.
And then
Becky comes down.
She decks Lacey.
But then who's the referee?
There is no referee there, and then it's a no contest because there was no referee.
Or Lesnar runs out.
I was thinking that, but I just don't think Stomping Ground is really the place to have him do that.
No, as a referee.
Yeah, or just
after Lacey gets knocked out.
I was just gonna say just a full no contest, or Becky comes out, decks Lacey, then an actual referee comes down, he does the stomp, he wins, and then they build to a mixed tag match, Seth and Becky versus Lacey and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, that works. All right, well, we'll see what happens. I think Corbin wins this and shocks the world, becomes champion. We'll see what happens. That would be hilarious. What a progression for
Some
Baron
people
Corbin.
like to watch the world burn. Apparently Rocha's one of them.
I've come around. What can I tell you? All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching this SmackDown Live recap. Let us know what you thought about the show and also what your predictions are for Stomping Grounds this weekend. I'll be watching, that's for sure.
Until your girlfriend comes home.
Yeah, well, I love her. What are they going to read and watch everything we do, man?
ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's the website where you can find all the top stories in the world of professional wrestling. wrestling throughout the week. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find the videos, the Raw and SmackDown recaps, Wrestling Sheet Radio, any other videos that I post on there. YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. While you're there, subscribe, like, share the videos. I read all the comments. I try to like as many of them as possible. So I'm looking, I'm watching. So thank you for those who do that. If you don't want to watch the video, though, if you just want to listen, make sure you guys go subscribe to our podcast feed. It's on Podcast One. It's on iTunes, on Stitcher, all the major podcast platforms. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio. We're also at Wrestling Sheet on social media.
There you go. All right, and you can follow him at Ryan Satin. Follow me at The Rocha Says. Tweet at us everything you feel about the world of wrestling. We'll try to
Not
respond.
everything.
Well, all right. Well, you can tweet
The good stuff.
Okay, fine. Tweet the good stuff. All right. Take care of yourselves. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week for 2 more episodes of the Raw recap and the SmackDown Live recap here on the Pro Wrestling Sheet.
ProWrestlingSheet.com